Time is running out. You can feel it, can't you? The urgency, the weight pressing down on your soul. Every second that passes is a second you will never get back. You tell yourself you have time, that you'll get right with God someday. But what if someday never comes? What if this is your last chance? What if the voice calling you right now is the final warning before the door closes forever? The world moves forward, but time is slipping away. Every breath you take is one less than before. Have you thought about what you're doing with the time you have left? Have you ever stopped in the middle of a busy day, in the middle of your routine, and felt the weight of time pressing down on you? It moves without stopping, without slowing, without giving second chances. The moments you let slip away are gone forever. Billy Graham once said, "Odds are God is giving you the opportunity to turn to Him, but that opportunity will not last forever." That truth is sobering. The clock is ticking, and you don't know how many minutes, how many hours, how many days you have left. You plan for tomorrow as if it's promised, but deep down, you know it isn't. You tell yourself you'll change one day, you'll fix things later, you'll get right with God when the time is right. But the time will never feel right. There will always be something to do, always another excuse, always another distraction, keeping you from the only thing that truly matters. Have you ever watched sand fall through an hourglass? Each grain slips away, one by one, never to return. That is your life. Each day, you wake up thinking you have plenty of time. But the truth is, time is running out. Think about the people you've lost. The ones who thought they had more time. The ones who made plans for a future they never lived to see. Death is not something we like to talk about, but it is the only certainty in life. And after this life, eternity awaits. But where will you spend it? That question lingers in the heart of every person, even those who try to ignore it. You feel it, don't you? The emptiness, the longing. You chase success, love, and happiness, but something is still missing. The truth is, no matter how much you achieve, your heart will never be at peace until it finds its way back to God. There's a reason nothing in this world satisfies. You were not made for this world alone. You were created for something greater, something eternal. That is why, even in your happiest moments, there is a quiet whisper reminding you that this is not enough. The cars, the money, the relationships, the achievements, they will all fade away, but your soul, your eternal soul, will remain. And one day, you will stand before God. What will you say? That you were too busy, that you thought you had more time, that you meant to turn to Him, but life got in the way. None of that will matter when your time runs out. The excuses will vanish, and only the truth will remain. God has been calling you, waiting for you, loving you, even as you ran in the opposite direction, but He will not wait forever. The time to turn to Him is not tomorrow, not someday. The time is now. Maybe you've heard His voice before, a quiet whisper in the stillness, a sudden thought that lingers longer than it should, a feeling deep in your soul that there is something more. It comes at unexpected times, in the middle of the night when the world is silent, or when you're sitting alone, lost in thought. It comes when life overwhelms you, when the weight of your burdens feels too heavy to carry. Maybe you've ignored it, pushed it aside, convinced yourself that it's just your imagination. But deep down, you know the truth. It is God calling you. Billy Graham once stood before millions and pleaded, "Lightship, you are not promised another day. This could be your last chance to say yes to Christ." Asterisk. How many times have you told yourself you'll listen later, that you'll get right with God when you're older, when life settles down, when you've had your fun? But what if later never comes? What if the opportunity you keep pushing away is the last one you will ever get? There is a battle raging for your soul. The distractions, the doubts, the lies of this world, they all fight to keep you from the one thing that can truly save you. The enemy does not need to destroy you. He only needs to keep you distracted long enough for time to run out. He whispers this trolling, you have time. Don't worry about it now. Live your life. But that voice is a lie. He wants you to waste your days chasing things that do not matter, so that when the moment of decision comes, you will be too lost, too hardened, too distant to hear the truth. Think about how many moments in your life have passed without you realizing it. Think about how quickly the years have gone by. When you were younger, the future felt so far away, but now, you see how fast time moves. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, months into years, and before you know it, life is slipping through your fingers. God has been calling you, gently, patiently, persistently, but His voice is not the only one. The world is loud. It tells you to chase money, to seek pleasure, to build a life on things that will one day crumble to dust. It tells you that God is not real, that faith is a crutch, that you can find your own way. And yet in the quiet moments, in the stillness of your heart, you know the truth. Nothing this world offers can satisfy your soul. God is not shouting over the noise. He is whispering, waiting for you to listen. But there will come a time when the whisper will be silenced, when the door will close, when the invitation will no longer stand. Will you wait until it's too late, or will you answer the call before the storm comes, before the door shuts, before time runs out? The choice is yours, but the whisper will not last forever. Have you ever sat in silence, haunted by the things you wish you could change? The words you shouldn't have said, the moments you should have cherished, the people you should have held closer. Regret is a heavy burden, one that lingers in the quiet hours of the night when there is nowhere to hide from your own thoughts. No matter how much time passes, some wounds never seem to fade. You tell yourself you've moved on, but deep down the weight is still there. Billy Graham once said, no matter how far you've gone, no matter what you've done, God's love is deeper still. Those words hold a truth that many struggle to believe. Maybe you feel like you've gone too far, like you've made too many mistakes to ever turn back. Maybe shame has built a wall between you and God, making you think He could never want someone like you. But that is a lie. There is no distance too great, no sin too deep, no past too broken for God's grace to reach. Think about the things you regret most. Maybe it's the people you've hurt, the bridges you've burned, the chances you didn't take. Maybe it's the time you wasted, the opportunities you let slip away, the love you failed to show. Life moves so quickly, and before you know it, you're looking back, wondering how things could have been different. The truth is, you cannot change the past. No amount of guilt, no amount of wishing, no amount of trying can undo what has already been done. But the past does not have to define you. God does not see you the way you see yourself. He does not look at you and see only failure. He sees who you were meant to be, the person you still can be if you surrender to Him. His love does not depend on your perfection. He is not waiting for you to fix yourself before you come to Him. He is waiting for you to come as you are, broken, lost, afraid, ashamed. He does not turn away those who seek Him. He welcomes them with open arms. Regret can either consume you or lead you to redemption. The enemy wants you to believe that it's too late, that you are beyond saving, that the mistakes you've made have already sealed your fate. But God is saying something different. He is saying, come to me. Let me take the weight of your past. Let me heal what is broken. Let me give you a new beginning. There is no mistake that God cannot forgive. There is no life He cannot restore. The time you have lost is gone, but the time ahead is still in your hands. What will you do with it? Will you let regret keep you trapped in the past? Or will you lay it at God's feet and step into the future? He has waiting for you. The choice is yours, but the door will not stay open forever. Look around you. The world is changing, and not for the better. Every day, the headlines scream of war, disaster, violence, and division. Nations are rising against nations, hatred is growing, and people are turning further and further from God. You can feel it, can't you? A darkness creeping in, a heaviness pressing down on everything. Something is coming. You may not be able to explain it, but deep inside, you know this world cannot go on like this forever. Billy Graham warned, we are living in the last days. The signs are all around us. Jesus is coming back. Are you ready? It's easy to dismiss, to tell yourself that life will go on as it always has. But history is moving toward a moment that cannot be stopped. The Bible speaks of a time when the world will be filled with deception, corruption, and suffering like never before. Can you not see it happening? The love of many has grown cold. People live only for themselves, chasing pleasure, ignoring truth, rejecting God. And yet, in the midst of all of this, God is still calling out, still reaching, still giving people a chance to turn back before it's too late. How many warnings does the world need? How many disasters? How much pain? How much suffering will it take for people to open their eyes? There is a cry rising up from the earth, the cry of a dying world, and yet so many are too distracted to hear it. We chase after things that do not last: money, power, fame, entertainment, while the foundation beneath us crumbles. How many times have you felt it? That nagging sense that something is off, that life is moving towards something bigger, something unavoidable. That is not fear, that is truth. There is no time to be lukewarm. You cannot sit on the fence, believing in God when it is convenient, and ignoring Him when it is not. This is not a game. Your soul is on the line, and the enemy knows it. He wants to keep you distracted, numb, indifferent, so that when the time comes, you are unprepared. But God is not silent. He is warning. He is pleading. He is shaking the world to wake people up before it is too late. One day, time will run out. The door of mercy will close, and those who have rejected God will have no more chances. Do not let that be you. Do not wait until the world is falling apart to finally cry out to Him. By then, it may be too late. Billy Graham's voice still echoes. Make your decision now. Do not wait for tomorrow. Come to Christ while there is still time. The world may not listen, but you still have a choice. Will you hear the cry? Will you answer? Or will you ignore the warning until it is too late? The time is short, and the final call is near. Imagine standing before God, looking into His eyes. The weight of your entire life is before you. Every choice, every moment, every secret laid bare. There is no more pretending, no more running, no more excuses. In that moment, what will He say to you? Will He welcome you with love, or will He turn away and say, I never knew you? There is no greater love than the love God has for you. It is deeper than the oceans, stronger than any force on earth, greater than anything you have ever known. This is not a love that depends on what you have done or who you are. It is not a love that changes with time or wavers with mistakes. It is an unshakable, unbreakable, eternal love. No matter how many times you have walked away, no matter how far you have gone, He has never stopped loving you. Billy Graham declared, God loves you. He sent His Son to die for you. And if you were the only person on earth, He still would have done it. Think about that for a moment. The Creator of the universe, The one who spoke the stars into existence looks at you and says, "You are worth everything." He does not love you because you are perfect. He loves you because you are his. And yet, so many reject him. So many push him away, choosing the temporary pleasures of this world over the eternal love of their Creator. Why? Why do we chase after things that will never satisfy, when the one who can fill every void is right there, arms open, waiting? Maybe you feel unworthy. Maybe you think your sins are too great, your past too broken, your heart too hardened. But you are not too far gone. The enemy wants you to believe that you are beyond saving, but that is a lie. The truth is, God's love is bigger than your failures. His grace is greater than your mistakes. He does not ask for perfection. He asks for surrender. He asks for you to come to him, just as you are, and let him do the rest. Imagine what your life could be if you truly accepted his love, if you stopped running, if you stopped doubting, if you finally let go of the guilt, the shame, the fear, and stepped into the arms of the one who has been waiting for you all along. The world will fail you. People will disappoint you. Everything you build in this life will eventually fade, but God will never leave you. His love is the only thing that will remain. One day you will stand before him. Do not wait until that moment to realize what you could have had. Do not wait until it is too late to accept the love that has been chasing you all your life. The time is now. He is calling you home. Will you answer?